We're going to bring in Matthew Whiz Buckley. He is a retired Navy Top Gun fighter pilot. Matthew, good morning to you. Great to see you as always.
Good morning, Bill. Good to see you.
So the president has been reacting to this pretty much all morning long. He has called Iran's leaders scum, says they're sick people, and that there's something wrong with them. You certainly get the sense that his patience is officially running out with them. Just give us your top-line thoughts on these developments over the last 24 hours or so.
Well, Bill, we've been patient for 47 years. They started this war 47 years ago against the United States. They've killed thousands of American servicemen and women, from the Beirut barracks bombing to Khobar Towers, you name it. They are the world's largest sponsor of radical Islamic terrorism. And the president wants peace. You see it in his eyes and in his heart. He wants peace. But, Bill, these aren't the Girl Scouts he's negotiating with. These aren't real estate developers in Manhattan. These are radical Islamic terrorists, and they only understand one thing, Bill, and sadly, that is force. I've spent a lot of time in this region, and folks like that look at negotiations or, hey, you want to talk, or can we work this out, as weakness. In their minds, you already lost when you want to negotiate. So the president, it's almost like Groundhog Day, and maybe he's finally waking up to who these people truly are.
Do you think it's inevitable at this point that the U.S. is likely going to have to return to full-on combat operations, more airstrikes, more targeting of Iranian positions?
100%, Bill. I mean, it's a foregone conclusion at this point. And let me get this out of the way first. General MacArthur had a great speech at West Point in 1962. He said, "The soldier above all others pray for peace, for they alone must suffer and bear the deepest wounds of war." So I don't want this. I never served with anybody who was super gung-ho, let's go blow stuff up or hurt people. But God forbid, if we have to engage in combat operations, Bill, they should be as violent and horrific and overwhelming as humanly possible. Why? So it ends quickly. Bill, they're not using this downtime to meditate and reflect on how bad they are. They are using the downtime to rearm, reconstitute their weapons from our buddies in China and Russia, and get Gucci intel from those so-called folks to target our forces. Sadly, more bad's coming, and it needs to happen.
Yeah, it's your point. We heard Secretary of War Pete Hegseth say this morning that Iran was trying to rebuild some of those radar sites, and that's some of what they hit last night. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is expressing some criticism about these ongoing talks. He says that talks alone, just negotiations, aren't going to be enough to get Iran to end its nuke program. Take a listen.
The president believes that he can stop Iran's nuclear program, which is a nuclear program to create atomic bombs. He believes that he can do this through negotiations.
Do you?
And various pressures. Look, I have my doubts, but I think he should be given the chance, and he's, trying to achieve that. It remains to be seen.
Do you see any world where Iran voluntarily gives up that program absent more U.S. military action? Obviously, we already had Operation Midnight Hammer last summer. The president has said all that nuclear dust and material is trapped under a bunch of rubble. But unless the U.S. can get in there and get on the ground and physically remove it, how do we ever know that they would take steps to end that program entirely?
We won't, Bill, unless we eliminate it completely or we get in there and put eyes on. Bill, I'm old enough to remember some folks in this country blaming President Bush for not, quote, connecting the dots before 9/11, like a line on page 30 of a presidential briefing that they might use airliners to hit a building. These aren't dots, Bill, with this Iranian regime. These are planets. They scream death to America, they kill Americans, and they want the most powerful weapon on the planet to eliminate as many of us as humanly possible. Bill, we have to take it to this conclusion, and I already said this. I don't want this. I run the No Fallen Heroes Foundation. I have to deal with veterans, and we try and heal these folks when they get home from service. But all the folks that I talk to on active duty, out on the tip of the spear, want to finish the job. And that's what we have to do in this case. And General Keane was right. I mean, he nailed everything on your intro there. They're willing to go to die to full general quarters here on keeping the Strait of Hormuz in their control. Might be time to take a look at Karg Island. Follow the money. If they can't pay their troops or keep their government operating, I think things could fail rapidly, or a lot more rapidly, in Iran.
And we continue to stand by for the president to have his solo press conference to wrap up that NATO summit. It's actually going to be like the third time we've seen him speak live so far this morning. He's been making all sorts of news. He said he believes the ceasefire is over, that he may bomb Iran again tonight. He said he may even reimpose that naval blockade. He also made some news on another front, which is that ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia. He was sitting there with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, and he said that, you know, quote unquote, a little birdie told him that the U.S. is going to allow Ukraine to start licensing the ability to build U.S. Patriot missiles for their defense. That would be a big step. Give us your thoughts on that.
Maybe you should have done this a little bit earlier, Bill, to be honest with you. I mean, good on the Ukrainians. They are landing punches deep inside Russia. They're hitting the capital. They're hitting Moscow, St. Petersburg. They're hitting refineries. They're hitting weapons production facilities. This has been, what are we, Bill, on year 4, 5? This is death by 1,000 cuts in Eastern Europe. Finish the job there too, man. Give them what they need to defend their homeland and take the fight to the enemy. Again, Bill, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but this has to be, you have to hit the enemy with violent, overwhelming firepower, shock and awe, and we're just kind of we're dragging our feet here. I want peace, but in order to get the peace, you sometimes have to be very violent to achieve that peace, especially when you're dealing with a Putin or the radical Islamic regime in Iran. That's all they understand is force. They don't understand, hey, can't we all get along, a little Rodney King here? They understand violence, so bring them violence.
You know, the president said that Iran had asked for, you know, a little bit of calm during the situation so they could have the funeral for the deceased Ayatollah. And in the middle of those services, they started firing off missiles and drones at ships in the Strait of Hormuz, and you could just see how exasperated President Trump was, basically saying these people are crazy. Got about 30 seconds left here. What do you think Iran is thinking right now? Do you think they see President Trump's patience completely expiring right now? Like, we can see it as viewers. What do you think they're thinking?
Bill, I think you nailed it. You and I both can see, the American people can see how exasperated the president is. He tried. He has given them as much lease as humanly possible. Now he's going to yank it in, and he's going to yank hard. And that's not the president's fault. That is the radical Islamic regime in Tehran's fault, not ours.
All right, got to leave it there. Retired Navy Top Gun pilot Matthew Whiz Buckley, as always, thank you for your time and great to see you.